Hello everybody, welcome back to NCAA 2004, and we are firmly kicked off in year 16. In the last video, we talked a lot about what we can expect from this year's roster, and also looking a bit ahead to what next year's roster might even look like, as we try and, of course, go back to beat Nick Saban's national title total, even though I think conference championships and bowl victories, I think we probably have them beat somewhere. I've purposely not kept up with the totals because I want to be just as shocked as everybody else once this series finally comes to a close. I want to know, but either way, we are firmly kicking off, or firmly in year 16 now, and we actually have a televised game against Temple. I was shocked. I scheduled this game knowing, or at least going into it thinking, that we would not get on TV, as, last year with Boise State, we weren't on TV, and then I think the year before with Ball State, we weren't on TV. Or maybe the year before, I can't remember when we played Ball State, but I guess the Temple is a big enough brain. I mean, they are in the Big East, so I guess that does make sense. It would be kind of weird if two P6 opponents were not televised, but it's Temple. It's a completely empty Lincoln Financial Field, as it is in real life too. And I think it's crazy all the way back in 2003 when this game came out that they kept in mind, like, yeah, this stadium's probably going to be completely empty, and not even just like, we put some stragglers in the nosebleeds. No, like, we literally have closed it off. We programmed the stadium to that nobody is sitting above the lower bowl. That's hilarious. If I'm a Temple fan, I'm upset, but of course there's only 20 of those out there, so Senate shot, sorry. For Temple fans, you will be eating on this channel soon, I promise you. I have something in the works with Temple, believe me. I am working on it now. I'm editing it as we speak. It's a huge video, but either way. So Temple already getting things off to a not so great start, as Mac Jackson, the quarterback for Temple, manages to find one of our safeties. I can't remember which one it was. It was Theo Thornton or not. It might have been Deion Moultrie, or it might have been. I think it was Theo Thornton. That was Theo Thornton running, so I'm gonna guess it was him with the interception. Yeah, went in the last game. So big ups to Theo Thornton, and now big ups to Tremont Moultrie as he's getting out into open space here across the 20, across the 10. Can he get inside? And he can. He wins the foot race. We had a good. That defender was taking a good approach, man. He was definitely taking a good little lead there, but it was just taking a little bit too much time. He didn't quite have the space. And Garrett Handy, man, what a spin move to get himself away from that first initial tackle and extend the play just long enough for Tremaine Moultrie to do everything else to completely figure that out. So big ups to the offenses. It's still finding a way to move, but 2nd and 1 now for the Temple offense heading the other way. Now Mac Jackson thinks that he can run the option with his running back just as well, and it looks like it is working a little bit effectively here as Desmond Frost is able to get into some open space, and he's got a nice pickup on the ground for the Owls, as now Temple is within scoring range. They're looking to add some points and answer back to the Crimson Tide offense. So Jackson back to pass once again. Clean pocket, steps up in it, finds an open target across the middle of the field. Not entirely sure who it was. Oh, it was Jerome Starks, the sophomore receiver for Temple, as he gets a catch here across the middle for a 1st and goal. So now 1st and goal, can Temple punch it in? They're going to go with a fullback dive, and they're going to get into the end zone, as Mike Forrest, though fullback, is able to get into the end zone for his first touchdown of the season. So big ups to Temple for finally answering us back. And I'm talking like the game's already won, and it's not, man. Okay, it's early. It's still early. The first quarter comes to a close. Both teams have only struck the scoreboard once, so anything can happen now in the remaining 3 quarters of this game. So 1st and 10 now. Handy getting away from Moultrie, gets stuck on him as he runs around, and he finds Ben Medley downfield for a catch. And look at that, bro. Jackson's already just lighting up the stat sheet in terms of production versus Garrett Handy. We'll see how long that lasts, but for right now, it's not a good looking breakdown. But Ben Medley here with a fancy spin move too, completely throw off that defender who was on him. So 1st down, and now we are well within scoring range. 2nd and goal here for the Crimson Tide. Just under a minute left in the first half, so Temple's defense has really found a way to trip up our offense, as Garrett Handy nearly runs it in himself here, but he's going to get tackled at about the 1-inch yard line, and now we're going to run with the hurry up on 3rd and goal. Garrett Handy got to get back up under center if he can. He's going to take the snap immediately and throw for it, and yeah, Temple's defense was definitely not ready. They were completely discombobulated. They probably did not expect First to even throw it, let alone snap the ball again, and Ben Medley was just standing there all alone. Really not all alone, because he had, Chip Milligan? He had Reeves, I think, standing right next to him. Just sitting right on next to him. And so now that's going to be another touchdown. We're going to take the lead here at the end of the first half, but only one touchdown. So Temple's defense is definitely standing on their head, but let's see if they have that endurance to go 4 full quarters with this offense. And Garrett Handy finds an opening up the middle, so he's going to run it himself and get a first down. And remember, we had a running quarterback, the last couple of years of Cal Lumpkin, and it looks like Garrett Handy might have some wheels himself here, so we could probably expect him to run a little bit. He looks a little bit like Donovan McNabb out there rocking the number 5. So Handy back to pass once again here. He's going to float this one out to the end zone. It's going to get caught by Chip Milligan. And what a beautiful pass and an even more beautiful catch, keeping the feet in bounds. And that is just an athletic play all around from 2 of our top guys on this offense. Look at that beautiful spiral, baby, as Chip Milligan has both feet in, and that is a full-blown touchdown. And just the size, you can just see the size, man. Temple does not have guys like we got guys, man. They don't have them. They don't build them like that in Philadelphia, I don't think. So, but now Frost, again, the running back, getting a nice first down here. Now the production between running backs is a little bit stark if you're a Temple fan, but hey, they're still getting the drive moving forward. But on 2nd and 17, moving the wrong direction here, Jackson got to figure out something to do, and he airmails this one here, just overshoots his guy a little bit, and Lance Hunt's going to come down with it, and that's to his 2nd interception on the year, as you can clearly see. So we're not heading the other way here, 21-7. We could really score again and kind of put this one out of reach for Temple, and Handy's going to try and do just that as Chip Milligan makes a short catch, but now he's off to the races, and look at that, man. There's not enough speed anywhere on this Owls roster to catch up to a guy like Chip Milligan, and he gets himself another touchdown in this game. If my math is correct, I think that's his 4th touchdown of the season. So Chip Milligan checking in here, looking to have himself quite this season for the Crimson Tide. Have himself quite the senior season, mind you. The senior season. He's going to go out with a bang. He wants to try and reach Scotty Mitchell numbers in the 89, and I don't know if he will. I don't think he will, but still, he can definitely be one of the better receivers we've had on this roster. So 2nd and 4 now for the Crimson Tide offense once again, and Handy dumps it off on the sideline, and now it's Evan Jacobs off to the races. Can you believe it? Evan Jacobs trying to break some tackles, and he can't quite do it, but he gets inside the 35, and hold on, there's a flag on the field, so hopefully this play will stand. I'm desperately hoping that Evan Jacobs can get it, and he does. It's a face mask on Temple, so that'll add another 5 yards and get us inside the 30. As we don't necessarily need that help, but we'll happily take it. So on 2nd and 2, Handy, delayed handoff to Moultrie, as Moultrie finds enough space to get a first down on the carry. And look at that, well over 100 yards on the day, averaging over 10 yards a carry. Man, that is ridiculous. Absolutely nuts. Not sustainable, but still great to see. But on 3rd and inches, they're going to say that he was short. I thought he got it, but they're going to say that he was short. So we're going to go a little bit of trickery here and hand it off inside. Looks like maybe Donaldson, the backup tight end, I think. It wasn't the fullback, but I think he definitely got the first downs. But fast forward to 3rd and 8 again. Temple's defense is picking and choosing when they want to be really strong, and they're choosing right now to be strong. And now Handy's going to get absolutely flattened, and he's going to fumble the football in the process. So, hey man, Temple's defense is still showing they got some teeth, I guess, late in this ball game. But that fumble is going to bring up a 4th and 16, and so now we're going to have to just rely on a field goal here late in the 3rd quarter. Kendall Owens stretching the leg out a bit here, and that kick is good. So we are now going to take a 31-7 lead over the Owls, and that's probably going to about spell the rest of this game here, as we're going to add another field goal later on in the 4th quarter and win this one 34-7. So Temple's defense definitely put up quite the fight here. I think if you're Temple and your defense holds the number 1 team in the country to 34 points, if your offense exists, maybe you can, I don't know. I'm trying to talk it into existence. Probably not. You give up 34 points, you're probably going to lose, regardless if it's the number 1 team or not. But definitely Temple's offense needs some work there. They definitely need some help around the roster, but they're probably not going to get it. So we completely outgained Temple in a myriad of different ways. Jamal Moultrie, man, he was just lighting up the stat sheet, running the football, and we haven't seen that in a long time. I think it was Ryan Barton the last time that we had a team that could really kind of rely on running the football a lot and not have to throw the football a lot. So Ryan Barton would have games where he only threw 15 times, and we'd still have over 150 rushing yards, and that was just kind of how we made our bed with a lot of the tough games that we had, against Arkansas and Tennessee and stuff. But Garrett Handy might be doing the same thing. But 12 of 18, we'll happily take that, especially with no turnovers. You know, that's the other thing we haven't really focused on too much in this season so far, man. There has not been a lot of turnovers from Garrett Handy, and that's where I'm the most excited. That's what I'm the happiest about. We don't have a lot of turnovers. So another huge game here. Everyone's just scheduling crazy games this year, but Ohio State schedules Oklahoma State, who are your reigning Big 12 champs, by the way, and Oklahoma State heads all the way to the Shoe in Columbus and beats the Buckeyes. So Ohio State's season now essentially coming to an end here as they grab a loss. They will probably definitely grab one in conference play too, so not so big for them. And then Maryland travels all the way to Hattiesburg and beats Southern Miss. So Southern Miss grabs a tough loss at the end or early in the season, as they've been grabbing losses, you know, kind of mounting over the last couple of seasons. They've become one of those teams who just grab a loss early in the year and then just kind of fade away, man. I think they were outside the top 20 last season, you know, because they lost 2 or 3 games. So it's been tough for Southern Miss in these last few seasons, but hopefully we can head to Fayetteville and grab another big win against Arkansas, which we need. This is the biggest test of our year, and I need you guys there to help root on to Crimson Tide.